Concerns about the economy and a fluctuating stock market have many of you worried about your retirement income. And so today, Colin Evans with Evans Financial Group is here to offer some advice on planning for retirement in uncertain times. So Colin, what's your take on the current state of the economy?
You know, we had the COVID, the inflation thing. Now we're watching Doge and tariffs, and we just had the first 100 days of presidency. The left wants to murder the right, and I think it's back and forth with
It's
all
nonstop.
that. It is. It's crazy, but this is a critical time when it comes to retirement. You know, Micah brought up a couple weeks ago retirement red zone, which is a critical 5 years prior to retirement and the 5 years after, and some of those things that can occur during that time frame. But one of the biggest things we're really talking with people about as you're entering in this time is getting a personalized income plan that is written down. What we mean by that is when you go into retirement time, you no longer have a paycheck. You know, where is it coming from? Is it going to be maybe now a pension, or is it going to be Social Security, or is it going to be taken out from retirement accounts? But putting that actually written down into a plan to where you know I've got X coming in every single month. This is one thing that puts a lot of people's minds at ease, and this is the biggest thing that can help really squash the fears in retirement of running out of money. Number two, they've really got to plan for longevity. We're getting healthier. All right, you know, the health system itself in general is helping us last longer. We live longer unless, you know, our creator decides it's time for us maybe a little bit early to go home. But you need to be able to plan for living longer and being able to factor those things in, because healthcare is going to be a big part of that, and you need to budget about 15% of your annual expenses or annual income for a healthcare portion, because it's been said that it's going to be about $300,000 for a couple throughout your retirement time of actual healthcare expenses. So it's something we want to look at. We have seen inflation. I can't preach it enough. Inflation. If you're visiting with your advisor, make sure that this is part of the conversation, because we got hammered with it over the last couple of years. And when you go into retirement time on a fixed income, this is a big deal, because now we're budgeting and things are a little bit harder. And I'm walking away with that grocery store with less items. So I make sure that is part of your conversation with your retirement planner. Review and adjust regularly. I can't stress this enough. You need to at least be visiting with your advisor about once a year at a minimum. Things change, life changes, you know, at the drop of a hat, an accident can occur, something can happen financially that causes us, or we have to look at a different angle or a different avenue. That's what we're here for, is to give you some, you know, a third party advice and say, here's some options and here's some ideas to do this. It's in the end of the world, but let's look at the different angles that we can take, because we need to be able to be flexible and be movable. And that last one is working with a trusted advisor. I would like it to be us, but however, you know, everybody needs to really have a comfort level with the person that they are visiting with. You know, when we interview with a potential new client, that interview is two ways. You know, I might not like the person I'm interviewing, and I might not want to work with them, and they might feel the same. It may be vice versa. Absolutely, and that's okay. I'll get counseling. You know,
you'll recover.
It'll be fine. But that's really it. You want to have that relationship, because you are really building a relationship of somebody that you trust and that you really are taking their advice to heart. You want to make sure that that works with your own personal, you know, beliefs and your own morals and values.
You really need to be comfortable with the person who is handling something that is such a monumental decision. You never want anybody that is having such a big impact on advising you on your finances to, you never want it to feel like it's a callous, thoughtless decision for them. You want to be on the same page.
Absolutely, and you know, a simple thing is we all should be doing the mom test. If my mom was in this situation, how would I take care of her?
That's great advice. Well, Colin, thank you so much for joining us each week.
Thanks for having us.